Hey everyone, my name is Alex and welcome to a brand new Humankind video. Now, Humankind releases next week. I've been really looking forward to it for a while, and in the last few days I've put in a fair bit of research to try and understand some of the core gameplay mechanics of this game, and also to try and understand some of the ways in which it differs from my favourite strategy game, which is Civilization 6. So, coming from the viewpoint of a Civ player, in this video I'm going to talk about three of the biggest things that Humankind does differently, and I certainly think that Civilization and other games can learn a little bit from how this game approaches certain topics. So the first big feature I want to talk about is the blend of cultures. Now, whereas in a lot of strategy games, including Civ 6, the faction or civilization you play as is chosen at the beginning of the game and you are sort of stuck with it until the end, Humankind is a little different. In Humankind there are 7 eras, and in 6 of them, every era after the first one, you have the opportunity to choose a brand new culture. Cultures essentially act as a civilization, so for every era, you basically get to take on a unique bonus, unique building, and unique unit of a brand new people. As an example, you can adopt the Babylonian culture in the ancient era, but when the next era rolls around, which is the classical era, you have the option to swap that culture out for a new one, including the likes of the Maya or the more militaristic Huns. Now, in the short term, this allows you to shift your focus to wherever you need it most, because each culture throughout the game has a different focus. The Egyptians, for example, are really good culture to choose in the ancient era if you want to boost your industry, which is basically production as I understand it, and therefore enhance your building potential, whereas other cultures are orientated towards different things such as money and trade, expansion, or food and population growth. Also, in the short term, your cities change in appearance to fit with your chosen culture, which is a really nice and immersive feature. However, what I like maybe even more about this system than just the short-term flexibility is that when you have moved on from one culture and have adopted another, your people will retain a legacy trait centered around the culture's focus. For example, with the Egyptians again, this is Grand Planner, which offers further bonuses to industry and a discount to the cost of a district. Certain visual traces in the form of some buildings themed in the specific culture's aesthetic also remain in your cities for the duration of the game, which is really cool. What I love about this is that your empire's abilities and visual features will therefore tell a story about the cultures your people have adopted throughout the game, including the likes of the Nubians in the ancient era, the Venetians in the early modern era, and maybe even the Americans in the contemporary era. And that is what history and this game is all about to me, telling the story of a civilization's different periods and progression through time. The next thing I want to talk about is battles in Humankind. Now, one thing I'm really looking forward to trying out in this game is the combat. In the game, units are joined together in armies, and battles involve 2 enemy armies going head to head. Following the beginning of a battle, a section of the world map, known as the tactical map, is marked out as the battlefield. The tactical map literally marks out the segment of the existing world map where the armies are located, encompassing its makeup and terrain features. These features include things such as high ground and woods, which play a really large role in combat strength and strategic advantage in Humankind, so choosing your battle location is something you need to get right. So upon creation of the tactical map, each side deploys its armies as they desire and take it in turns to maneuver their troops and attack the enemy. Reinforcements are a thing too, which will make for some really high stakes battles. The reason I like the sound of this so much is that all of this turns battle into far more of an event than it is in Civilization 6, for example, and with things such as the terrain of the designated tactical map playing a far greater role in the outcome of any battle in Humankind, the combat system in this game appears to be particularly detailed and will require a good amount of tactical thinking, something which for me, Civ 6 seems to lack a little at times. Now, the final thing I want to talk about, and this is such a big change, is that Humankind doesn't actually tie you down to one specific victory type, and I'll explain what I mean by that now. So, the one way in which you can win a game of Humankind is through accumulating the most fame by the end of the game. It's sort of as simple as that in many ways. However, the way you can generate this fame is multi-dimensional, which makes for a significantly different gameplay experience than in Civilization 6. In Civ 6, as I'm sure you know, you basically have to choose your victory type before you even begin the game, especially on the higher difficulties. So you have to pick your Civ in line with the specific victory type you want to achieve, and your actions throughout the game, including the districts and wonders you build, are all driven by that aim of winning that specific type of victory type, whether it be a tourism victory or a science victory or a domination victory, whatever it is. You've really got to focus in on one victory type throughout the game. And that means that against a competent AI, as everybody knows, the high difficulties on Civ 6 are tough, and against a competent AI, there's just no way that you can start with a science victory in mind but change to a tourism victory mid-game. With Humankind allowing you to generate fame in a ton of ways, what this means is that in one era you can actually choose a science-focused culture in an attempt to be the top scientific people in the land, but in the next era, if that's not working, you can move to maybe a more militaristic culture and get far angrier with your neighbours. So the point is that at different stages of the game, you may approach earning fame and therefore trying to win victory from totally different angles, yet still have a good chance of winning. I really think going for victory in Humankind therefore is going to be a far more dynamic experience for players, which will be a nice change from the almost sort of linear way you have to approach attaining a victory in Civ 6. Okay, so there are some of the biggest differences I've realised from Civ 6 to Humankind. When I talk about Civ 6 maybe drawing inspiration from these ideas, I'm literally talking about the little bits. I don't think the next Civ game should have just one victory type, but maybe, for example, I do think that it should be a little bit more dynamic in the way you can achieve winning a victory. Maybe you shouldn't have to necessarily pick your victory type from the start of the game, but that's just something for viewers to consider and for the developers to consider. I'm sure everyone else will have their own opinion. But Humankind looks very fun. It releases next Tuesday, I believe. I'm really looking forward to trying it out, and hopefully you'll want to see more content on the channel, so let me know if you do. Thank you so much for watching this video today. To see another one of our strategy videos, and check out the civilization video in the box on screen right now. Also subscribe and comment for lots more Humankind content. Hit the like button as well if you want to see that. Follow me on Twitter and tell me what you think to Humankind over on there. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex, and I will see you in another video soon.